Yo, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I have an interesting video proposition for you, my friends. But we are going to be using FSR4. We're going to be using that in a performance mode. But what we're on right now, we're on 9070 XT. Let's go ahead and get out of that, get into graphics. We are set to Ultra. We're going to have the RTX direct lighting off on this. We are on the 9070 XT right now, and is what we're gonna do, guys. I was like, wait a minute, this would be a great idea. I finally actually have the 9060 XT in that build, my 9070 XT in the other build. So this should be an interesting video. I wanna show you guys what we would get, you know, normally without using like any frame gen, just, you know, I mean, obviously we're gonna jump in there, we're gonna turn on our FSR4, our DLSS4, whatever, we're gonna turn that on, you know, no matter what. I mean, obviously if we're at 3440 by 1440p, if the upscaling looks good, no reason not to use that. So as you can see, we are in Toshara like normal, like we would always normally be, and we're about 90 frames. Yeah, that's good. Let me get off my speeder right now. Like that's absolutely pretty freaking good, right? And it looks incredible. We're just using the FSR4. We're in the performance mode, so we're getting, you know, a 90 FPS at 3440 by 1440p. Obviously, we're doing this on the LG OLED, beautiful monitor. Absolutely just freaking plays great like this. 90 frames, absolutely an incredible experience. And like, look at the visuals. The visuals on this game, guys, at freaking, I might actually do a video with this. Yeah, maybe I will. Let's start recording. Oh shoot. Yeah, I should have that on right now. Can we get into it? Yeah, there we go. So let's go ahead and we'll just start recording this. We'll do some recording of it, and then I'll have it on like side by side. So as we start running across this, guys, look at this. We're about 87, 90. We're about 90 frames. I would say 90 frames. Obviously, you turn on frame generation, it's basically going to double that. You get all the way up to 160, 150 frames a second on this game. Very, very nice. So you're getting that. You're getting a pretty nice overall experience. Wait a minute. We need to check something out, guys, because this might be enabled. Nope, it's not. No AMD's fluid motion frames, but all right. Yeah, sometimes if you on AMD, sometimes that will just already automatically be enabled, so you have to kind of turn it off. So 90 frames, guys. Very, very nice. That is a very nice overall outcome for this game, to be at 90 frames at 3440 by 1440p. That's actually a really decent frame rate for ultra settings on this game. This game has ray tracing, all of that stuff. So, and this is pretty much the average that I get on open world games when I'm not running like frame gen or anything, except for the newer Assassin's Creed. I do believe it's a little bit lower. I think it's like 70-ish frames, but overall, most of the time, we're about 90 frames or so, usually with this GPU at 3440 by 1440p without using any frame gen or anything like that. We usually get a pretty decent experience out of this on this GPU. It's usually pretty good, well over 60 frames a second, usually in that sweet spot from about 70 to 100 frames a second most of the time in open world games. That's just how this GPU runs. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this, pretty optimistic about the overall outcome of this experience. Now, is what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump on over to the 9060 XT in the same game and see how that is going to work out. So let me go ahead and just stop recording this one. Let's go ahead and stop recording, because I might have that footage in here, but it's ultra wide and we're filming 16:9. So let's go ahead, and what we got to do is we got to come over here Oh yeah, we got to get out of this game because it's going to want me to. It's going to want me to sign out. Maybe I have to sign out and sign back in. So let's go ahead and close that and then close that. So now we're going to go ahead and hook up my other input, and we're going to go to DisplayPort. And now we are on the 9060 XT. So let's go ahead and get back into the Ubisoft thing. I will leave this all in there just so you guys can kind of see this. Wait, we need this on. Boom. And as we are climbing into it, hopefully it doesn't make me sign in. I would really suck for, it would make this a pain in the ass. Okay, good. Whew, thank you for not making me sign in, Mr. Ubisoft. You are my hero today. So I got to get this controller plugged in over here. And then as soon as we get loaded into the game, so we're on the same monitor, 3440 by 1440p, and we're on the 9060 XT now. So you can see that up here on this side. We got 9060 XT over there. Maybe I will start recording this one right now as well. Where's my record? So let's go ahead and start recording. Enable. Wait, is it not freaking set to where I need it to? Yeah, it is. Okay, now recording. So we are recording now. Let's go ahead and get back into the gamesy-wamesy. And let's see what kind of a framesy-wamesy we can get at 3440 by 1440p on this GPU versus our, versus our last GPU. So let's go down to settings and make sure everything is set the same. We have the VRAM for this. So 3440, 24, screen calibration. So FSR3, fixed performance. Let's go ahead and turn that on. So this one here, we will be using frame generation. And then in terms of graphics, we're still set to ultra and we still have direct lighting off. So basically the exact same settings. The only difference is we're using frame generation on this one now, as opposed to not using it on the last one. It doesn't look like I got my thing set up. So now we're right where we were. And look at this, guys. We're like almost legit at the exact same frame rate. And it looks exactly the same. That is what I'm talking about. Like, you can legit get the experience that you would get on the freaking 9070 XT on a 9060 XT. I really didn't know this was going to happen. I thought it was going to be close. But this is almost legit the exact same freaking performance that you're getting from 9070 XT. And look at how smooth it's running. We're using that frame generation. Like, you're legit getting 9070 XT performance out of this GPU. I mean, it is a little bit more like you do kind of feel a little bit more stuttery or whatever, but for overall, like this is legit dang near the same experience. Like, you're getting about an 85, almost a 90 FPS experience, which is quite good. Overall, the image quality looks exactly the same. I mean, like, I'm not even joking. Like, it looks exactly the same, and you're getting almost freaking on par performance out of that. That is freaking wild, my friends. That is wild. A little bit less, but gosh dang, that is pretty freaking wild what frame generation can do for your experience. That's crazy wild, my friends. Like, this feels just as good, nice and freaking smooth for the most. I mean, yeah, it feels pretty damn smooth, guys. Like, this is good. We're gonna run through the center of the city. That's usually when you would start to see like the frame rate kind of start to tank a little bit is in here. But man, it looks like we're holding pretty decently right around that 90 FPS experience, guys. Like this is quite good for what this GPU is. I mean, it's a 128-bit bus. It does have the same 16 gigs of VRAM, so you're not really at a disadvantage there. Other than that, you're just on a, and it's about half the GPU. I think it's what, 32 cores versus 60 cores or CUs. So you got 32 CUs versus the 60 CUs. So you're about half, but you're able to get that level of performance that the 9070 XT offers with just using upscaling, while enabling frame generation as well. Like the frame generation really does help, and it really does feel almost like exactly like it does feel a little bit more fluid on the 9070 XT for sure. Obviously, you've got, you know, more of a, you know, like all those frames are real versus where some of these are, you know, where half of them, you know, about 40 frames or so. You're about, yeah. So it feels more like 40, 50 frames while you're playing. Whereas the other one, obviously 90 frames. After like 60, 70 frames, you don't really feel much more latency when you're on a controller anyways. So essentially you're able to get that experience that the 9070 XT would give you with just being able to turn that on. Now, obviously, if you turned on the frame generation on 9070 XT, you're about 150 frames. You're about 150 on this game, which is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm talking about when people are like, oh man, this 9060 XT does this. Look, guys, a lot of these games have frame generation now. A lot of these games are built with these technologies in mind, so therefore you're getting the motion vectors, you're getting the when you're using like RDNA 4 or even Blackwell, you're getting a better overall experience because these games are actually built with this technology more in mind. So it really does feel good, especially if you're on a controller, guys. If you're on a controller, like games like this, yeah, this is incredible. That's why I keep banging on about this freaking technology, is because look at what it can do. It can legit turn a 60 class card into a 70 class card with a flick of a button, with a toggle. You go from a 60 class card to a 70 class card instantly, just like that. And it still plays incredibly, still feels really, really good. I mean, because obviously you're getting about 40, 50, I would say the latency feels like 50, 60 frames, pretty close to that. Obviously it felt a little bit more fluid over on the 9070 XT, obviously, but this is good enough to trick your brain. That's what I'm saying. Like, this tricks your brain. And look at that line right there. That's running pretty freaking flat, pretty smooth overall. So you're not feeling at a disadvantage. I mean, even like during combat and everything like that, I've had some instances where maybe it would have felt like a little bit better with real frames, but man, you can usually learn pretty quickly in the games. Like, your muscle memory starts to adapt really quickly because of what you're seeing on screen, and so you might, it's crazy. Your body just automatically like starts making those adjustments. And so you can actually play that kind of stuff. So yeah, guys, 9060 XT is definitely a good GPU. This is probably consistent with a lot of games across the board, especially anything that has frame generation. And you can also stack AMD's fluid motion frames on top of this as well to get even more frames. If you wanted to boost it up to the 150, you could absolutely do that. But you will have a little bit more instability on screen, but not to the point where it's going to be horrible. So, all right, my friends, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.